entertainers tonight. Let's check on the starting lineups, and we'll start with Real Madrid. The first look, Casey, at what the post-Karim Benzema era might look like, and a sneak peek at what the Jude Bellingham era might bring.
Yeah, Lunin in goal, and then really you have between, Militao, Nacho, Vasquez, Mendy, and then that midfield. The midfield where Camavinga with Cruz is the veteran who's in there running the show. Valverde, who came up with some spectacular goals from distance, and then obviously Jude Bellingham with that massive transfer to come in.
Yes, all eyes on the Real Madrid number 5 after his big money move from Borussia Dortmund. Timothy Ford leading the All-American officiating crew. But there's another big arrival who has Dortmund in his past on the AC Milan side, and that's Christian Pulisic. A lot of eyes on him, particularly here in Southern California. He plays from the start after his $20 million move from Chelsea, Casey.
Yeah, I think this AC Milan side, it's about organizing defensively, but really trying to figure out that attack. And clearly some big names are missing from this AC Milan attack. But Pulisic got off to a good start in the first preseason friendly against lower division opposition with a couple assists. Loftus-Cheek as well, joining Pulisic from Chelsea, will look to make a bright start in his AC Milan.
It's a blend of established players and new arrivals on both sides of the ball, particularly for the Rossoneri. AC Milan and Real Madrid. It doesn't get much bigger than this, and certainly the venue doesn't either. First meeting on US soil for these two juggernauts since 2012. They played on the other side of the country at Yankee Stadium. That was before Yankee Stadium became a more regular fixture for the sport of football. And that was a very different era that night. Real Madrid won 5-1 with 2 goals from Cristiano Ronaldo, with Jose Mourinho at the helm. All set for action in Southern California. AC Milan are going to be wearing the whites. Real Madrid in the darker uniforms. Adrian Healy and Casey Keller on board with you. So glad you could join us. The first dose of action in this preseason for Real Madrid after 2 weeks of training. They've been here in Southern California since Thursday. Real Madrid have already had their one friendly, which they won comfortably, but it's these two juggernauts who've followed very similar paths over the last couple of seasons who get things underway here. Both of them, remember, winning their league titles in 2022, both of them failing to defend their league titles last year, and both of them, Casey, of course, making the Champions League semi-finals before exiting. So
yeah, there's no question that it was seasons that could have been for both these sides that didn't quite work out. And when you have the history of both these sides, there's an expectation that trophies are continually flowing into the trophy cabinet. Last season was a little bit of a blip for Real Madrid, and obviously in this process for AC Milan to get back to the heights where they were a decade or so ago, it's still part of that process moving forward.
21 European Cup or Champions League titles between these two clubs as Camavinga leads the charge. Runs into resistance from Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who gets his first tackle in as an AC Milan player.
Yeah, tracked back really well where it looked like Camavinga was maybe going to be able to run quite a distance to get into the AC Milan back third, but good work from Loftus-Cheek.
And then Jude Bellingham taking the floor with a first look at his footwork and dribbling skills. 100 million euros the fee to bring Bellingham to the Spanish capital. A fee that could rise significantly as well. cost considerably less there. Joselu getting his first touch. The slip was an unfortunate one for young Lorenzo Colombo. He's going to be leading the line from the start tonight for AC Milan.
Yeah, I think the point you made earlier that it is a combination between veterans, young players, and new signings for both teams. So it's opportunities for everybody.
Crowd roaring. Valverde on the cross from Lucas Vazquez is charged down, and Pulisic can get on the ball. Going to be really fascinated to see whether Christian Pulisic can make his mark right from the word go in Italy. It can be a tough league to go to, can't it, Casey?
Well, particularly for probably a player that is more used to being on the offensive side of things. We know traditionally Italy has been a very defensive-minded league, a very defensive-minded footballing country, and so for the attacking, creative players, sometimes they get left maybe out on an island a little bit, but Italian football is trying to change that. They're trying to be more attack-minded. They're trying to be more progressive in the attacking third. And I think when you look at, Christian coming into this side, the bigger question maybe is going to be, will he be on the left side? Because we know Leao has pretty much made that position his own. So then with him not in the lineup today, it fits really well for Christian to be out on the left. But if he's in the lineup and the two of them in the lineup together, it'll be interesting to see where they all fit in.
He was joking with the media just yesterday about how this US tour isn't exactly helping him bed in and learn Italian with his teammates. He's right back on home soil. Of course, he has some familiar faces in the likes of Loftus-Cheek and Tomori, former Chelsea teammates.
Giroud as well, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there is some familiarity there, which definitely makes the comfort level that much easier, but then at the same time, you don't want it to be too comfortable. You always want to be on that edge.
Here's Brahim Diaz, one of the Real Madrid new arrivals. Of course, up against the club he spent the last 3 years with. Special moment for him tonight to get back in a Real Madrid shirt and be going against AC Milan. Nicely works. Just a little too strong for Mondi to be able to haul it in.
Yeah, very close to coming off a good combination play, and then he just couldn't get on the end of it to be able to bring it down and put a dangerous ball in the box.
That is Marco Sportiello in goal tonight for the Rossoneri, another of their new arrivals. No stranger to Serie A, played with Atalanta last year and Fiorentina prior to that. Florenzi trying to cushion it forward to Colombo. Here's Bellingham. Real Madrid surging forward with numbers. Little leave. Nicely done by Brahim. Cruz to Valverde, encouraged to shoot. And that is going to be the first corner of the evening.
I don't think Valverde needs a lot of encouragement to shoot from distance. Showed last season his ability from outside the 18. And that time, the deflection led to the corner. Real Madrid looking to sustain some pressure in the AC Milan penalty box.
And a quickly taken to-on corner as well. Cruz with some quick thinking. Lucas Vazquez with an invitation attached, and the shot was low and fizzed and just the wrong side of Sportiello's goal. Valverde again.
Yeah, Valverde really came from a distance. As it come on, you see, he just understood the understanding between Vazquez and Valverde where they're going to be. Placed into that space 24 yards out. Great strike, but just wide the Sportiello's left-hand post.
Florenzi. This plays for ball, easily picked off by Militao.
Yeah, early on, Real Madrid have done a good job when AC Milan have had possession in their back four, is pressing enough, forcing a ball over distance to see if they can combine, and Real Madrid have done an excellent job of them keeping that possession and trying to combine in these kind of areas where AC Milan have done just enough in that last minute to either make the block or the interception, or the pass maybe was just that little bit too strong to be able to bring down and put that AC Milan defense under more pressure and see if they can get that early goal.
Forced to wheel around in the Milan midfield. Florenzi with an adventurous ball. It had to be a good one. Ruben Loftus-Cheek able to push on, taking on Camavinga. Pulisic lurking left-hand side of the penalty area, looking for a quick combination. Perhaps the shot was on there. Pobega seeing his effort charge down. Pulisic tearing up Pobega with some quick footwork. From Colombo. There's the Rossoneri on the move again. Pulisic gets isolated. Can he find the right cross? He can, and it needed Mondi's intervention at the last to put it behind to safety.
Yeah, it's been two really good plays in succession from Christian Pulisic, getting isolated out on the wing and then finding the opportunity. It gets blocked down to go to his left, so he comes back quickly on his right and puts a very dangerous ball into the box. Well defended by Mendy at the far post, but good work from Christian Pulisic to put a dangerous ball in and give Milan the opportunity.
Macias, the Brazilian, on the far side is going to take this. To aim for inside the penalty area. The near post flick arrived. It was emergency measures taken by Valverde to clear it behind.
Yeah, it's a flat surface into the box, and it's not cleared well at the near post. And Tamori was lurking, but as you mentioned, cleared well.
Yeah,
when needed to be by Valverde.
He was right in the vicinity, wasn't he, Tamori, and he'll stay there. Going to get on the end of this. He was crashing in. Militao had other ideas.
It's been a good spell for the last couple of minutes from Milan, being able to pick up second ball possession and then creating opportunities to put dangerous balls into the box.
Vega, just some cross wires almost. Another foot in there to win it back. Bellingham. Get behind Valverde. Lunin playing from the start tonight in goal for Real Madrid. Of course, he started last season in goal, didn't he, for the Merengues? With Courtois out of action. In here at the Rose Bowl. Real Madrid and AC Milan. They met in pre-season in 2021 in Austria, a game that finished 0-0. It was a game in which David Alaba made his debut. Gareth Bale missed a penalty.
I think Simic is just getting a little bit of a talking to. That's always the tricky part. You want the match to be as competitive as possible, but then there's always that understanding that, look, this is a preseason game. Let's not get anybody injured here because of a rash challenge. So nothing too much in it, but there was some conversations just to remind everybody.
Yeah. Those two players, the two protagonists, both very eager to make an early mark. Giancarlo Simic, the young defender for AC Milan, and Joselu, who wears the number 14 shirt for the first time tonight for Real Madrid. And what a task he has, Casey, at least for now.
Yeah, you need to be the new Benzema. No, that's not going to happen. So, I mean, I think there's an expectation from everybody with Real Madrid as we see Bellingham, just a little push in the back. And Krunic, but that Real Madrid will be going into the transfer market to find that marquee striker sooner rather than later.
Yeah. It's an easy take for Lunin. Some catching practice for him. As he said, at the moment it's Joselu's shirt. That's really clever from Brahim Diaz, who's had some sparkling early touches. Taking over, and Joselu on full stretch couldn't quite connect with a toe end.
Well, it starts further up the pitch where it does a really good job, as you mentioned, from Diaz to create, and then combines back once again with Lucas Vazquez and then attacks the line, which is nice. Look, it's always a difficult angle coming across there from Joselu to be able to get enough purchase on the strike to really trouble Sportiello in goal, but good combination play on this right-hand side to create the opportunity.
It really has been a remarkable journey to this point for the 33-year-old Joselu. Don't have to go back that far, Casey, to find him being 6th choice striker at Stoke City and unable to get a game there. But of course, he's back to where it all began for him. He was out of the Real Madrid academy, played for the Castilla team, and always dreamt about coming back one day. Seems to be unlikely.
Well, but he's gotten his opportunity, and because of whatever reason, and as of right now, with lack of somebody else, or it's his position to lose, so make the most of it.
Bellingham. Lovely work from him. Mondi trying to guide Camavinga forward. Camavinga trying some sorcery there against Calabria. It's a good layoff. AC Milan on the counter-attack here. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Sharp point of the attacking dagger, but a misplayed pass will end the move.
Yeah, those are the expectations you see in preseason with new players not quite on the same page with each other. Obviously, by the time the season starts, so much of that will be cleaned up, but a promising chance for Milan on the break that comes away from the errant pass.
Loftus-Cheek, like his former Chelsea teammate Pulisic, looking for a fresh start, new opportunity. Slightly more advanced in his career at the age of 27, as Colombo didn't hear the approaching footsteps. And the pumping up of the volume you hear is the first Mexican wave going around the Rose Bowl, something that's still traditional here as Pulisic picks off that errant clearance. Pulisic trying to tee it up for Loftus-Cheek, and sold him just a little short.
It's really well read by Toni Kroos, who then starts the counter-attack, but AC Milan have a good shape defensively with 5 back, but it starts to open up a little bit more as reinforcements were slow.
Now Brahim Diaz has stayed down. Jude Bellingham, who played in the past, was appealing in the direction of Timothy Ford, who is distinctly unimpressed. Brahim is back on his feet. Three years he spent on loan with AC Milan. Brahim, 91 appearances in Serie A, but he admitted he's never stopped thinking about a time where he might return to Real Madrid. He originally belonged to Manchester City. Madrid signed him in 2019. Picked up the edge of the area. Oh, and Colombo could have made an early name for himself. Lorenzo Colombo, the 21-year-old, ended the starting role tonight. He really caught hold of this, Casey.
Yeah, it's good work again, pressing from Milan, and in between Mendy and Camavinga, possessions gifted to Colombo from the top of the box, and it's a good strike with his left foot, but always going over the bar, never really troubling Lunin. But what an opportunity that was gifted to Colombo from the good press from Milan.
Yeah, there's been a couple of sloppy moments out of the back, haven't there, for Real Madrid?
Well, it's their first match. Normally, those first matches come with lower division opposition, and you're able to work your way through some things. Well, Ancelotti saying, no, we don't need that. We're going to go straight to some big boys, and our guys will figure it out.
Even though Milan's one game came against third division opponents in Lumezzane last week. A morale boosting 7-0 win to start their pre-season campaign, and now looking to push on. It's Pulisic again, who's seen a lot of the ball. There we go, it's even a little more than Jude Bellingham. Into touch it goes.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a little different role for Jude Bellingham at Real Madrid than it was for Dortmund. He had a lot of freedom. Some of the question marks going into Bellingham is would he have the discipline that would be expected of him at Real Madrid? Now, you can only ask somebody to do something and make sure that they do it the way you want it to be done. And I can't imagine there's a better person than Carlo Ancelotti to have a young player and get them to perform the way you would like them to perform. But a lot of expectation on a player when you have that $100 million price tag on your head.
Yep. He's been so accustomed in his career to setting new marks. Youngest ever goal scorer for Dortmund. As the recovery was a fair one. Mondi, the well-timed tackle, has left a victim down out of your picture.
Well, he gave the ball away, and that's what you love seeing from any player that is guilty of giving possession away, that they work as hard as possible to get back and win it back. And it did. It looked like from the angle we saw that it was a fair challenge on Loftus-Cheek, who's a little slow to get up. Yeah, I think it was just unfortunate. He just goes to strike the ball on goal and just catches him.
Application of the spray on Loftus-Cheek, who joined the Chelsea Youth Academy at the tender age of 8. Had been a Chelsea first-team player since 2014. Had to go out on loans to the likes of Crystal Palace and Fulham. But actually coming off a Premier League season in which he played his most appearances for the blue part of West London. 25 Premier League appearances last year. And it proved to be his final one.
Yeah, and the last thing that he would like to do is in his first appearance in the first half, or I guess in the first appearance for in a more, I guess, visible role than the lower division game that you aforementioned. But yeah, the last thing you want to do is get injured early, and you want to have that opportunity to truly prove yourself. So hopefully Loftus-Cheek will be fine and be able to continue.
Well, while we have just a moment, Casey, I want to assure viewers of ours in the United States watching on ESPN that our colleague Shaka Hislop is okay. He is recovered. Didn't see the incident, Casey, but I'm sure it was an alarming one. We've been told definitive terms that he is okay. He was working on the sideline pre-game, you know that. Tony Kroos. Real Madrid trying to go back to business again. Jude Bellingham, lovely cut, and Bellingham asking for handball. Timothy Ford A perfectly good view of it, waving aside those appeals. And now Camavinga to Cruz from distance. That's a couple of efforts that have whistled just past Sportiello's near post.
Again, really good combination. Bellingham comes through. I thought right there he had an opportunity to cut it to Camavinga. In the end, elects to take that touch and hit it himself. Nothing wrong with Jude Bellingham making that decision. And then it just took a really nice block. And then eventually it falls out to Cruz with the good shot from distance. But again, just misses the post. And then this time it's good pressure from Real Madrid, winning the ball back with Camavinga.
Yeah, he's had an all-action start to the evening, isn't he, Eduardo Camavinga? Start of his third season now, the Merengues. Only missed one game last year, Camavinga, in the whole of the La Liga campaign. Marcelo peeling away, staying onside, walking the tightrope. Loftus-Cheek getting his own back on Camavinga and emerging with it. Slow burn of a build-up there on the counter-attack for AC Milan. Macias was eventually caught, and he has won the free kick. Andrei Lunin, the Ukrainian, got his defensive cover sorted out. Pulisic standing over the ball for the Rossoneri. Well, did Pulisic touch that off? Looked like he hadn't actually touched it, Casey, but
didn't touch much of it.
The header down for Colombo just behind him. He's in retrieval mode and does well to come up with a corner.
I think in the end that was probably the best case scenario as it fell in, just to win the corner, get reorganized, continue to put pressure on the Real Madrid back line, and still waiting to see who's going to break the deadlock.
Pulisic feeding it in, and it's AC Milan who have broken the deadlock. Fantastic corner and a thumping header from close range from Tomori. Now the Rossoneri fans may be outnumbered here, and it's they who are making the noise in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, just really good service into the box. Maybe a little bit of a question on Lunin with the ball coming that much into the 6-yard box, that maybe he could come out and help his defense, but it's really poor marking from Real Madrid. And Tomori couldn't believe that he was that wide open 4 yards out.
And Christian Pulisic gets the assist as well with a perfectly placed corner into the 6-yard box.
And for Pulisic, it's so important coming into a new club with a new opportunity, trying to win over a new set of teammates, coaches, fans, that you just continue to contribute. Coming off of a 2-assist game against lower division opposition in his first match, already in this first half, contributing from the run of play and then off the set piece.
Goal made in West London and scored in Southern California for AC Milan. It's not just the nature of the world game. As Tomori's back in his custom role, dealing with the cross. And now what can Real Madrid do to respond? There have been signs, haven't there, through the first 20 minutes or so that AC Milan are going to get their chances tonight. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek marauding through midfield territory again. It's picked up on the move, and a second is not that far away.
Yeah, again, Loftus-Cheek does a great job of just running at the defense. And Messias gets a good opportunity and a good look at goal and doesn't miss by much.
No.
But so much of that starts from just Loftus-Cheek picking up possession, running at Real Madrid and making things happen.
Junior Messias, sometimes not the most popular player in the Milan first team squad. I think it's fair to say, but does weigh in. Important contribution every now and then. Got 5 goals last season.
Well, I think that's the key. I think the key is that those contributions get more consistent. And there was a great opportunity on the break to be able to add to those contributions and just was unable to capitalize on the strike.
There was 6 ball inside, easily cut out by Kroos. Now Bellingham. Lucas Vazquez. Heading inside with intent. Looking for an outlet. Looking across to Mondi. Marcelo beaten to it by Giancarlo Simic. Ancelotti hinted he might try something a little different early on in this new season. With no Karim Benzema to lead the attack. Some thoughts that Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo will eventually be a pair. As that cross takes a deflection into the arms of Sportiello.
Well, thinking of how much in the offensive half of the field that Benzema was involved on either provider or goal scorer over the last decade, more or less.
Yeah.
Of course, without a like-for-like replacement, there is an idea that they're going to have to do something different.
Yeah. Well, Bellingham brings something different by design, doesn't he? It's a nice layoff. Raheem trying to return the favour, just beyond the reach of Bellingham.
Yeah, it really was unlucky for Bellingham. Again, he's shown a couple times in this match when he picks up possession in that final third to be able to run at the defense and create chances for Real Madrid, and that time just needed the return pass on the cross a little bit lower from Diaz.
It's a AC Milan player down. It is Macias. It is. So we reach the half-hour point here at the Rose Bowl. The players will take this opportunity to take on board some liquids as Macias.
Yeah, Macias was kind of holding his hip outside of his thigh after the strike or the contact when he was under pressure before he was shooting from distance. I don't know if that's still the issue. And in preseason, clearly you don't want to fight through anything. You might as well come off, make sure it doesn't linger as you go into preseason. And so it doesn't surprise me that Macias just goes down and says, you know what, it's probably better that I come off. And probably was going to come off at halftime anyway if he wasn't coming off at the 30th minute.
Carlo Ancelotti saying he was very happy with the summer business Real Madrid did, despite no direct replacement for Karim Benzema. Of course, every chance there could be a big name still to come. The names of Kylian Mbappe and Lautaro Martinez are near the top of that particular list. It's substitution coming for AC Milan. I think it's going to be Luca Romero, the young Argentine, who's going to enter. And indeed, it is Macias who is going to replace Luca Romero, another new arrival in Milan. Played for Lazio. He was their youngest ever scorer Luca Romero, at the age of 16 years and 9 months. First player born in the year 2004, Casey, to score in Serie A. Doesn't that make you feel young?
Oh, yes. Very young.
Romero involved immediately. Work from Nacho to hold that attack. Nacho, by the way, the captain now, post Karim Benzema. He is on the ball. He's actually the only player involved tonight that played in the last meeting on US soil between these two teams in 2012. Now in his 14th year with Real Madrid. Marcelo, and a hustle to make himself available for the ball. Nice layoff. Vinga to Mondi. Romero for company. Cruz to Lucas Vazquez. Cruz trying to work it for Bellingham, whose instinctive touch is in the vicinity of Brahim.
And again, there's that excellent press to win the ball back after what was a very promising play that didn't quite come off in the last minute with that layoff. But anytime you can have that effort to win the ball back in your opponent's half, as Real Madrid look to find the equalizer before the half ends.
Some early embryonic signs of Bellingham and Brahim.
Well, I think both sides have to be very happy with some of the way the new players have contributed in the attacking third in particular. And yes, there's no question that Bellingham has shown, you know, Brahim Diaz as well has looked very lively on this right-hand side. You know, as has Loftus-Cheek, as has Pulisic for Milan.
The attacks overall have had the upper hand, haven't they? It's made for an entertaining spectacle thus far.
Yeah, I mean, in these type of preseason games where probably the majority will be playing 45 minutes and probably no more than 60, you know, the idea is to get as much fitness as you can in that period of time. Don't hold anything back, because we're going to take you out if we think that you're going to be fatigued. So let's keep working on those fitness levels. We know it's, you know, for Real, it's their first game. You know, for Milan, it's their second, but their first one against a more formidable opponent. So yeah, there's clearly no reason to think that hold something back for 90 minutes. Get that fitness exercise in as needed, because players will tell you, Adrian, you'd much rather run in a match than with the fitness coach at training. So get that running in today so you don't have to do it tomorrow.
Now, a loose touch from Lucas Vazquez. Pulisic doing well to recover after his feet went from under him, and well, it was an inadvertent.
A little trailing arm, maybe? Yeah,
flailing hand. Militao, I should say, was on the end of it. Certainly seemed to be incidental from Pulisic. I'm going to have a look at it here.
Yeah, he kind of slipped, but then did a really good job, and then the arm comes around and catches him. And yeah, I agree, it's incidental, but
yeah,
you know, I can see where the whistle went, unfortunately, because it looked like, you know, Pulisic had done an excellent job to be able to recover from the slip and look like he had sprung AC Milan on an excellent chance to get at the back four. But
yeah, Bellingham with some space to surge into. Languid dribbling style of his. Brahim hasn't been afraid to shoot on sight tonight. That one clattering into a wall of white.
And there's that press once again from AC Milan. against that defense, and Real Madrid continue in possession to try to create the chances, but every time it looks like Real Madrid, after the press, winning possession back, but AC Milan collapses so well defensively and comes up with the key block when they've needed it in this first half.
Corner kick which Toni Kroos is waiting to deliver here. Everyone back for the Rossoneri. Kroos serving it. Joselu trying to get airborne. And Kroos quick to nip in there and win it back.
And then just tries to clip that ball into a dangerous area. But once again, when Milan needs a player in the right position, they have him.
Bellingham getting free! And the shot from Militao seemed to be goal bound, but Simic with his body on the line.
And once again, when they've needed a player to put their body on the line, it's a good flick in, it's a good volley, but as you said, Simic just throws his body and comes up with the key block, gets his arms tucked in so there's no issue with a handball.
And Juan Carlos Simic has been in the eye of the storm, and he's done really well. The Primavera player, one of several called up for this US tour by AC Milan. Here is Stefano Pioli at the start of what will be his 5th season in charge.
And sometimes, Adrian, when you get those opportunities in pre-seasons, it's not necessarily about the immediacy. It's about proving that if the opportunity arises later, if there's some injuries, if there's some form issues, that you proved yourself at this time to then be given the chance. So it's not always just about, hey, can I make the squad now, but can this squad trust?
Calabria.
And that press, I think that is something, I think if we were to speak with Carlo Ancelotti right now, it looks like, after covering Real Madrid so much last year, that there's one of those wrinkles that maybe they're trying to do this year that's a little bit different, is press the ball higher up the field, see if they could win the ball back in more dangerous areas.
Yeah. Every chance, of course, we're going to see some of the other big names in this Merengue squad in the second half. And of course, you start with Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo. Luka Modric is here. In terms of the new arrivals, will we see Arda Güler, the young Turkish wonder kid, Fran Garcia, also a new arrival.
Yeah, I'd heard that Güler may be struggling with just a little bit of a tweak from training and might not be risked for this match, but supposedly he's impressed massively in the early training sessions so far.
Good training just down the road from here at the lovely campus of UCLA, where they feel very much at home. Carlo Ancelotti loves the surroundings. The university campus. Who wouldn't, Casey? It's a fabulous place to come at this time of the year. Not quite as fabulous was the challenge from Camavinga, deemed to be unfair by Timothy Ford.
Yeah, it all started with an unnecessary back heel from Bellingham, which gave possession to AC Milan, and then as Loftus-Cheek looks to come back inside, collision with Camavinga, a little high five between the two, just saying no ill intent.
Run off the ball into space, the cross in. Bit of pinball inside the penalty area from Oda. Lax clearance though by the AC Milan team, is punished in some style, and it's Luka Romero off the bench and into the headlines. What a hit from Romero, and it's the Rossoneri who double their advantage here.
No, I agree, Adrian, with you. You said it was just a loose clearance that was won back very well, and then it bounces. It's just unnecessary, but it's well won. And as it comes back inside, it bounces nicely. And, you know, it's preseason for goalkeepers as well. And Luna never really got his angle properly positioned. And Luca Romero punished him at that near post.
A young man who scored a grand total of 1 Serie A goal in his career thus far for Lazio.
But what a great job from Krunic just to win possession back, to make that sliding challenge, to win the ball back after what has to be said. It was a poor clearance, no question about it, but you still have to punish a team for making the mistake, and Milan did exactly that.
Well, you mentioned it earlier in the first half, Casey, but these two teams perhaps exemplifying why AC Milan are a game ahead of Real Madrid. They have played a game. This is the very first action. It really, and you can tell the difference, can't you?
You can. And just the little incidences are that little bit cleaner from Milan. It's almost, you know, as if maybe they started preseason a week earlier, as if they had one match more, just in that process. And again, Carlo Ancelotti doesn't care.
No.
You know, I mean, yeah, sometimes it's nice to have those mistakes early to be able to say, hey, look, this isn't acceptable. And the fact that Real Madrid didn't need to punish some lower opposition by double digits to get any kind of confidence. They're like, look, we're going to be fine. We'd rather have our players pushed against a good team early, and the result doesn't matter.
Yeah. Opponents with whom Carlo Ancelotti, of course, is very familiar. Now the surging run from Brahim again. Lucas Vazquez getting to the byline, clipping it across, and Sportiello was at full stretch. He's able to fingertip it away from danger. Lucas Vazquez is constant presence down the right-hand side.
Yeah, Brahim Diaz, Lucas Vazquez have combined very well on this right-hand side. Bellingham has done a fantastic job and again, Brahim Diaz just pressing the defense and combining so well. And it's a couple mistakes, really. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the difference, it's been a couple mistakes that have been punished by Milan. It's been a poor marking on a corner, and then it's a poor clearance, and you know, a ball that I think Lunin, if this was match one after a preseason, would have had a better angle and made the save. So, and then every time that Real Madrid have put themselves in a good position, an AC Milan player has stepped up to make the key block.
Yeah, stepping up now is Calabria, pouncing on a loose ball to put the brakes on. Help arriving, Luca Romero. Bobega looking for an outlet. Florenzi spins kindly for Looney, as he saw 3 minutes of stoppage time. A massive crowd here at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, mightily entertained.
The massive pro-Real Madrid crowd that is a little bit frustrated so far.
Mighty entertained, but most of them not as happy as they might be, hoping for better things in the second half. They may well see a very different Real Madrid team in the second half. We shall see. As they have a corner to work with here at the tail end of the first. Toni Kroos jogging across to the far side. Kroos's delivery. Loose ball to be pounced upon. Valverde is there. His best ever goal-scoring year last year, didn't he? Federico Valverde, 7 goals in the La Liga campaign.
and a couple spectacular
strikes. Bellingham trying to cushion the header down. There's been some moments, hasn't there, from Jude Bellingham this first half?
There really has been, and again, it's when Milan have needed to step up their defending after good approach play from Real Madrid, they've been able to do that. And once again, Tomori is in the right place. He shields the ball out after what was a good combination to almost open up a good goal-scoring chance. And so, yeah, it really has been a bend not break and capitalize on the Real Madrid mistakes for AC Milan in this first half.
Indeed, it's the first half that comes to a conclusion. So the Tomori header and the thunderbolt from Romero. Toni Kroos, clearly Fran Garcia is in for Mondi. Danny Carvajal replacing Lucas Vasquez. Alaba for Nacho. And Rudiger for Militao. So nearly completely different. But what we now do have is Vinicius Junior out there. And Rodrigo will be his strike partner.
And Fran Garcia getting his first touch back as a Real Madrid player after a very successful time at my former club, Rayo Vallecano. And it seems to be a little bit more of a kind of a theme that we're seeing now is teams selling players with a buy-on clause or a buy-back clause, as opposed to just that continual loan spell. And Fran Garcia getting that opportunity to go out and mature as a player, and now getting the opportunity to come back to Real Madrid.
Yeah, here he is. Wears number 20 now. 3 years with Vallecano. Vidi Junior trying to introduce himself to the crowd. They've been waiting for him. So the only Real Madrid players to survive the cold from the first half: Jude Bellingham, Federico Valverde and Andre Lunin in goal. As Modric gets a welcome to the game elbow, and a yellow card has been handed out. It appears that Luca Romero may be the recipient for this transgression. Yeah, I don't think he can have too many complaints.
Yeah, very odd. You know, I'm not quite sure why you'd kind of leave yourself in a preseason friendly, but
well, he's still got the adrenaline coursing through the veins, isn't he, from the first half strike?
There's a few players I've known that would have kicked their grandma in a friendly, but
well, here's Rodrigo trying to light up the crowd here with the right sort of service touched on. It was by Carvajal. And this time Modric is the aggressor. Just confirmation of the players and the numbers who are now on. Tchouaméni, an interesting case. Casey, after his 1 year, lots of rumours swirling that could in fact be on his way out of Real Madrid. Liverpool supposed suitors.
yeah, it wasn't as if last season he kind of broke in and really established himself. I don't think there was an expectation that he was going to, but because he didn't, maybe there was a thought process from some other big clubs that he could possibly be available. So far, I think Real Madrid have pushed a lot of that conversation aside. But
well, there was a Casemiro-sized hole to fill, wasn't there, for Tchouaméni? And then, as you say, I'm sure he completely filled it. Taken in by Krunic, who Some impressive moments in the first half, navigating his way through midfield territory again. Romero. Luca Romero, in case he grew up on the island of Ibiza. Pretty nice place to come into the world, and not known for producing too many footballers. Here's Bellingham. Inside from Vinny Jr. It's Fran Garcia. And now Alaba, who made his debut in this pre-season fixture exactly 2 years ago for Real Madrid. Bellingham 2 years on doing just that tonight. Sporty yellow. Rolling it out to Calabria. And that's the gentlest of nudges in the back on Romero. Fran Garcia had a pretty good day, didn't he? Same day he signed for Real Madrid, he was called up by the Spanish national team for the first time. He was in the Nations League.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting now to see after, like you mentioned, that 3-year successful spell at Rayo, where, you know, he was really able to, you know, get the minutes that he needed to mature, and then, you know, there's no illusion that now taking that step up, and it's a big step up to Real Madrid or back to Real Madrid, to see if he truly can establish himself as a Champions League regular, in a team that's expected to win every match they play.
Yeah, it's a very different sort of fishbowl you're in and pressure you're under, isn't it?
Well, and that's highlighted by, as soon as you sign with Real Madrid, you get that call to the national team. So yes, it is. It's a big step, and I'm sure one that Fran Garcia is really excited to make.
It's Antonio Rudiger increasing the ex-Chelsea ranks out there tonight. Overhit ball from Tchouaméni. Carlo Ancelotti, Real Madrid coach, at the start of his 3rd season in charge. What is his 2nd spell on the club, and all the indications are it will be his last, with Brazil, the national team, waiting in the wings. Loftus-Cheek to Romero. Played from Fikayo Tomori. What do you reckon about Ancelotti, Casey, and the Brazil national team job?
I think it's a very interesting prospect, particularly for Brazil. I think it's always when there's that cloud of just information that isn't direct. There's always this little, is it happening? Is it not happening? Why has it not been official? Is it so it's been very interesting, particularly with when you're as big of a club as Real Madrid, that there is that speculation on your manager.
Well, he'll still be managing Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo if he does indeed go to the Seleção. It was almost as if Carlo Ancelotti didn't want to be the one leaving Madrid, and Real Madrid didn't want to be the one letting Carlo Ancelotti go. So there was kind of this standoff very public standoff with Brazil.
And it's also when you're the club the size of Real Madrid, you don't like to be the one that is there's our manager's leaving by choice or
right.
leaving at this stage. There's always this idea. I mean, look what happened with the whole Lopetegui situation with the national team, and then saying that he was going to go to Real Madrid, and then the national team said, well, okay, if you want to go to Real Madrid, how about you go right now?
Yeah.
And not wait for this tournament with the national team. So yeah, it is. It'll be very interesting to watch as the season progresses, and if this gets clearer or if it just gets cloudier.
Modric steering it for Carvajal. Rodrigo looking to turn on the jets. Rodrigo! Well, all of a sudden, it opened up for Rodrigo with a scintillating surge inside. His jabbed effort brought the best out of Sportiello.
Yeah, for so much in that first half, it was a case of when the good play led to the opportunity to get the shot on goal, a Milan player blocked it before Sportiello had to make the save, and that time Rodrigo opened up the space, and Sportiello had to be quick down to his right to come up with a nice save.
And then some frustration from Modric as he let the ball go. Teammate not on the same wavelength, but Carvajal certainly showing the normal hunger.
Yeah, and then the frustration again. We talked about this, the first game where passes will be off, but Rodrigo just pulls it inside. Didn't want to hit it with his right foot for some reason. Didn't want to hit it with his left and goes with the outside of the right. And in the end, he forces a fine save from Sportiello.
Well, he got 9 goals last year in La Liga. Also credited with 9 assists.
Yeah, he'll look to improve on that, and particularly so will Real Madrid. When you look at the goals and assists, that will be none available with Karim Benzema no longer in the squad. So players will have to pick up that slack, and Rodrigo will be one that they'll be looking to improve off of the totals from last year.
He grabbed both goals in the Copa del Rey final against Osasuna as well. Chipped in with some of the Champions League, but can Rodrigo and Vinny Jr. both up their goal-scoring tallies? It's one of the tantalizing questions this year for Real Madrid. Carlo Ancelotti, who managed 423 games for tonight's opponents, AC Milan. He was there 8 years. And seeing his team trying to come back.
No.
Oh, and it's a gift. Well, Valverde will take the credit, but it's Sportiello who will take the blame. And this crowd at the Rose Bowl coming to life.
Yeah, Rodrigo finds Valverde, and he just kind of tops this shot, and I mean, does it take a slight deflection? Yes, but still, Sportiello just makes the mistake and pays the price.
Oh,
who would ever want to be a goalkeeper, Adrian?
Who would want to be a goalkeeper, Casey?
Yeah.
I've never understood.
No, me either. Unfortunately, it was too late when I figured that out.
Can be the loneliest position in the world, can't it?
Particularly minutes earlier when you make a really nice save against Rodrigo, that if that had gone in, nobody would have thought twice about it. But then the shot from distance fools you, and you become the fool.
Oh, it's picked off now, and Valverde's at it again! Well, absolutely nothing Sportiello could do about this one. Federico Valverde pouncing on the loose ball and pounding it home. And in the space of 2 minutes, Real Madrid are level.
Well, AC Milan that capitalized off of Real Madrid's mistakes in the first half. And to start this second half, it's Real Madrid's opportunity to capitalize off of the AC Milan mistakes. And Valverde punishes comfortably as he smashes the ball home from the top of the 18.
And a look of pure bewilderment from Stefano Pioli. What just happened seemed to be written all over his face. I mean, two defensive catastrophes back to back, Casey, in a short space of time. Valverde, the happy beneficiary on both times.
Yeah, now it's really a case of your squad kind of recognizing, okay, we've been punched in the mouth here to start this second half. Now, how do you react? And managers want to see that. They know that you're not always going to have it your way. So, okay, you made some mistakes, you paid the price. Now let's see, can you turn things around? Can you change this momentum, or do you completely collapse? And those are ways that you can really find out the character of your team. And this next few minutes is going to be really important for AC Milan to see how they respond. Because yet there has to be an assumption within the next 5 or 10 minutes there's going to be wholesale changes in Milan's side. So see how they respond now after the difficulties to start this second half.
Yeah. Difficulties is very apt indeed. And Stefano Pioli not making any switches at halftime at all. As opposed to 8 for Real Madrid, but you can't legislate for the sort of defensive errors Pioli's team has produced. Now Pulisic trying to get back to where he was in the first half. It's a slaloming run. He lost his footing, as did Carvajal.
Yeah, I think that was I think a no call was probably the right decision. But again, Christian Pulisic being the protagonist, coming in off that left-hand side and created problems in the first half. Assist off of the corner for the opening goal. 2 or 3 other chances where he took players on, put dangerous balls in the box. Yeah, it was one thing doing it in that first game against third-tier opposition. It's a little different doing it against the likes of Real Madrid.
Simic sliding in definitively. Stefano Pioli has never coached a game against Real Madrid before. His long coaching career is now the start of his 5th season with AC Milan. It never lasted more than 2 years at any previous job, Casey, that he'd had with the likes of Fiorentina and Lazio, Inter, Bologna.
Yeah, which in some ways you'd say sometimes it's hard to get things done so quickly, and to have that enough success to give yourself a chance. Give yourself that chance to get better, to make those improvements.
Another Real Madrid change coming.
Looks like just a slip from Pulisic, and then trying to recover. Commits the foul.
And it'll be the end of the road, the first road for Jude Bellingham. Certainly shone at times in the first half, some good little combinations.
Well, and really what they're looking for Jude Bellingham is to be that box-to-box midfielder with the creative flair. And look, they're few and far between in world football, and he definitely showed moments in that first half why Real Madrid made the $100 million commitment to bring him from Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah, just a tantalizing glimpse of what is to come as Bellingham makes way for young Nico Paz. And in comes the free kick. Rudiger giving chase. Just about kept it in play, did well. Now Vinny Jr. Two for company. Rudiger helping it along to Paz, getting his first touch. Vinicius outside of the foot. He was going for that.
I'm not sure he was, Adrian. He kind of put his hand up to apologize to his teammates. So if he was, it was a pretty optimistic ball to kind of just flick to the far post. Yeah, you could just see it was Sportiello just kind of stepped aside and put his hand up into that corner. Always going over, but audacious.
Yes.
Which we know he's capable of doing and capable of trying, but in some ways then you just got to hold your hand up because players are running around the pitch and you're giving possession away.
It's Fran Garcia on the run here.
Well, something he did really well in the way that Rayo Vallecano played, and the wing backs getting forward and the outside backs committed, and there was a great opportunity in that commitment to get into the space to put a dangerous ball in the box.
Here's Carvajal. It's Rodrigo. Cohesive build up again. Too much for Vinny Jr. and he's not going to be able to track it down either.
Yeah, he puts his hand up knowing that the idea was right, the execution not where it needed to be. But you know, look, we know that when Real Madrid are in full flow, they're a difficult opposition. In this second half, with that little dynamic addition of Rodrigo and Vinny Jr., it's forced mistakes that Milan will look back on and say, yeah, thank God it's preseason. But again, they're not going to be the only team that's going to get punished by Real Madrid this year.
Well, it looks as though wholesale changes are forthcoming for AC Milan. Seeing at least 6 or 7 white shirts down beneath us, spotting your picture there, getting ready. Romero on the chase. Lunin venturing out to meet him. Calabria's throw to Loftus-Cheek. Calabria trying to play it back to him. Unfortunate slip from Paz. And then overhit from the back by Tomori, and this perhaps will give Stefano Pioli the chance to make the switches. No, not happening quite yet, and it's another Real Madrid attack instead. Rodrigo has his work cut out, does keep it in, and then beats the first man. Rodrigo, like he wasn't there, comes back for more against Florenzi. Carvajal. Well defended by Tomori, who is gasping for breath.
Well, it was Rodrigo looked like he'd created the space twice to put the ball in the box, and it was well recovered 2 times to make sure that the only option Rodrigo had was to play the ball back. And then as the ball got played in, it was cleared out for the throw-in, but this might be the nope, as it still continues a Real Madrid throw.
The cavalry is coming for AC Milan. Here's Colombo, probably knowing it's his last contribution. It's a nice flick too to Pobega, who's on the move.
Yeah, just held on the ball too long, allowed Rudiger the opportunity to get back and make the challenge. Yeah, that's that difference. That difference between being that young player, getting into these types of matches, understanding you just don't have the time and space that you would have at a lower level.
Loftus-Cheek running into resistance, and now the midfield quarters are pretty empty as Paz is able to saunter forward.
Yeah, but Milan did a really good job of just keeping those 6 players back to make sure that it wasn't a clear break for Real Madrid.
Sportiello down low.
Yeah, it came through a crowd. Sportiello saw it late and was able to recover well down to his left and come up with a decent save.
It was actually Vinny Jr. who hit it, wasn't it? And again, just to recap for those of you watching the United States, our colleague Shaka Hislop is faring well. He's well and fit and heading back away from the stadium to all of those of you who might have been still concerned about his well-being. That is good news indeed, as AC Milan make, I believe, 10 changes.
We knew it was coming.
Yeah. Gianni Reinders is going to come on, one of their new arrivals. Theo Hernandez. For all the commentators union out there, Casey, I think I speak for us all by saying I'm glad this doesn't happen in the regular season. I mean, there's been a lot of complaints about
the 5 subs.
Subs, but how about 10 at one go? It'll take us a while to sort out who is out there and who isn't. We will bring you back. We saw Simon Kaye come out. I know Rafael Leao, I believe. De Ketelaere is also out there. Silemakers. The 2 Belgians are out. Malik Zhao is also on. Olivier Giroud has replaced Lorenzo Colombo. Simon Kjær, the hugely experienced Danish international. Changing goal as well. The number 1 is back in, Mike Maignan. And it's Vinny. Lovely. Luka Modric, little impudent flick. Theo Hernandez sporting the pink hair is left flattened in his own penalty area, but it's all Real Madrid at the moment. And it comes towards Rodrigo.
Yeah, just how hard that is for a side to make those kind of changes in the run of play and then get into the match as quick as possible.
Vinny Jr. bringing one of the biggest roars of the night out of this crowd. Just almost ghosting through Silemakers like he wasn't there, Casey.
Yeah, again, Silemakers coming into the game a little bit cold, and Vinny having that 20 minutes since halftime.
Here's De Ketelaere onto Giroud, who stays down after a fairly meaty challenge. Olivier Giroud sporting the new platinum blonde do. Well, for those of you keeping count, these were the subs that came on. Yassine Adli was the one I had missed. Back to the French keeper. He's at the start of his 3rd season now. Milan, Theo Hernandez start of his fifth. Two French components of the Milan defence. This is one of their Belgians, Salamakers. Good stretch from Tchouameni to pick it off. Frenny Jr. had been struggling to get back onside. Salamakers side to Adley. Good looking cross, Giroud's header! Great save from Lunin. Olivier Giroud with a wry smile. And well, he might smile because he's doing everything right here with the header, Casey.
Yeah, it was a really good spell of possession from Milan, and Giroud just comes into the middle. Excellent cross into the box. That flicked header. Lunin makes the good save, and then Fran Garcia does just enough to put off Luca Romero, and Lunin was able to then get back up and collect the ball and alleviate the pressure. But it was a good spell from Milan that led to that really nice header and even better save.
Lunin, who was possibly at fault for Romero's goal in the first half.
I wouldn't necessarily go as fault, but definitely I think would have looked at that and said,
could have done better.
Yeah, I could have done a little better there. My positioning was a little off, and made that little hop to the opposite direction and just wrong-footed him, but then clearly made up for it with that fantastic save.
Quarter of an hour to go at the Rose Bowl. The crowd absolutely lapping this up.
And in these types of matches, this is what you want to see. Two teams that are committed to attacking, committed to taking players on. 4 goals between them. And
wow, loves to take players on, and that shot was goal bound, and the follow-up is wide. What a chance for Luca Romero to get on the score sheet again. But I tell you what, Rafael Leão is...
Well, it was the cross for the Giroud header, and then it cuts the ball back. Great strike, well blocked. I don't know if it was Tchouameni or if it was Alaba who was there in the middle to make the block, and then under pressure from Fran Garcia, Luca Romero could only put it into the side netting.
Rafael Leão coming off his best ever season. He got 15 goals in Serie A last season as Rodrigo was upended. Fair challenge from Theo Hernandez. Referee Timothy Ford has been consistent tonight. Certainly let them play.
Well, there hasn't been, it hasn't been that kind of a game, right? I mean, and you wouldn't expect it from these two sides in a preseason friendly, but still, it also hasn't been just walking around the field. There's been an edge to it, and that's been nice, a fair edge, and I think the referee's done a good job as well by not, over whistling.
De Ketelaere was the target of that. Charles De Ketelaere looking to be more of a force in this AC Milan midfield this season. Only 32 appearances, but only 9 starts last year for De Ketelaere after that big money move from Club Brugge. It's almost picked off by Rafael Leão, who's wearing number 10 for the first time this season. Alaba. Carvajal inside to Valverde. Nicely done by Fran Garcia. On to Paz.
Yeah, Nico Paz just seeing if he fell into a 3 white shirts and tried to come out the other side. And the Milan defense able to now in possession in midfield. So a little bit different, I think, in this shift for Real Madrid. Maybe not quite as high a press as we saw for a majority of that first half. And I think as these changes have come, it looks like the Milan players after those wholesale changes have started to get more comfortable. Yeah. Done a little time to get up to the speed of the match.
And Theo Hernandez, of course, a former Real Madrid player himself. He's continued his run here, Theo. Decided to play it back to Romero.
Yeah, the son of one of my former teammates. So.
Yep. Yeah, he played 2 years for Real Madrid, 13 appearances.
His brother at Bayern Munich.
Yep.
So yeah, it's impressive what the two brothers have done. French internationals. Really, Theo, I think, really capitalized in his World Cup appearances from the unfortunate injury to his brother.
Yeah. He's become a regular contributor of goals as well. One of the highest scoring defenders in Serie A, as that's touched. Salamanca's. 10 minutes to go. Stefano Pioli, who's won 103 of his 189 games in charge. Carlo Ancelotti has been in charge of rather more. Real Madrid's next stop on this US tour will be Houston. They play Manchester United on Wednesday. Official attendance, Casey, 70,814, which is classed as a sellout. Capacity is slightly lower nowadays here at the Rose Bowl, but I don't think many of them would be asking for their money back.
No, entertaining game, definitely. I think
there's a lot of hugging going on in midfield at Salamanca's and Vinny Jr.
Yeah, Vinny took offense to something, and then in the end, everybody was all hugs.
Looney into Carvajal. Nicely done, Tchouaméni. Mentioned it finished 2-2 the last time these two teams met when it really mattered. The Champions League all the way back in 2010. Competitive meetings over the years between the two, also very even, 6 wins apiece, 3 draws. Salamanca's at Fran Garcia breathing down his neck.
Yeah, Salamanca's did a really good job of just recognizing that it was coming. The tackle was coming and needed to get his body between the man and the ball, and won the free kick for his side, because if he doesn't get that right, Fran Garcia is off to the races.
Rafael Leao tackled definitively now. Vinny Jr. trying to add an exclamation point. Vinny Jr. It's what they came to see tonight. And Vinny Jr. so rarely disappoints. And Real Madrid have come all the way back from 2-0 down to 3-2 up. This is how it happened.
Yeah, it's a good challenge. Leao makes a good run. Valverde, and then what an unbelievable recognition and pass from Luka Modric. Kerr has to respect the pace of Vinny Jr. Doesn't see him behind him, sneaks in behind, and then has the composure to just pass it past Mignon, and Real Madrid take the lead. What a change the second half has been for Real Madrid. But again, Luka Modric, what a ball, to recognition of where Vinny Jr. was, played it in behind. Vinny Jr. holds off the Dane and then has the composure of the finish.
Perfect ball, as you said, from Modric. Waited and picked off brilliantly on the run by Vinny. And AC Milan must be wondering, Casey, what they've done wrong in this second half. They haven't done anything wrong particularly. It's just, well, a couple of defensive errors.
A couple of mistakes, yeah, a couple of individual mistakes, and you just can't afford with the quality of Real Madrid to make those mistakes. Look, you got the benefit of some uncharacteristic mistakes from Real Madrid in the first half, and then you can't gift those opportunities back to them and expect not to be punished.
Now Modric, the ageless Luka Modric. How much longer can he keep on going? It's time to take a look at the man of the match, brought to you by Direct TV, and it is Federico Valverde. Casey, I don't think too many would argue with that. His two goals just 2 minutes apart.
And his run of play throughout the match has been strong. A reason why you mentioned that it was the best ever goal tally last season, and he looks to want to build off of that this year in the form in the opening game of their preseason this year.
Picked off by Paz. Paz again. Going to dink it to Vinny. Kier able to stay with him this time. And then Vinny just trying to lure him in. Romero coming to the aid of the Danish defender.
Well, that's unfortunately, those are the situations in preseason that will get you kicked.
Right.
When you start, trying to showboat late in the match, and you got to be a little careful with that. Vinny Jr. happy to play with a chip on his shoulder, but sometimes that comes with consequences.
Yeah. Now Malik Jow across to hold the run of Rodrigo. How many games has he lit up since joining Real Madrid? Almost exactly 5 years ago to the day since he joined from Flamengo. Vinny Jr.
Yeah, it took him some time to settle, and now it'll be a different level of responsibility on Vinny Jr.'s shoulders without Karim Benzema on this side. So important for him to accept that responsibility, take that on his shoulders and really help his side out. And clearly a Real Madrid side that'll be disappointed with the way Barcelona ran away with the title last year, and we'll look to put that right this year.
And both these protagonists tonight will be looking to push on from their league position of last year. AC Milan, of course, finished fourth in defending their Serie A title.
Two Champions League semi-finalists that will look to take it that step further.
It was the final that might have been last year had Manchester City and Inter not taking matters into their own hand. But now,
some late drama.
Yeah, Giroud standing over this. Got his fellow countryman Theo Hernandez showing some interest too. There's a little Milan wall formed in front of the Real Madrid wall. Some extra subterfuge at play. Simon Kier is also in the mix here. AC Milan. But it is Giroud after all of that. Oh, it's a brilliant hit and it's just wide. Hit the stanchion behind the goal. I'm not sure that Lunin would have got there, Casey.
Well, Lunin stopped Giroud scoring on the header early in this half. And Giroud thought he had found the equalizer. And it does not miss that corner by much. Really well taken as it just fizzes past and then ends up hitting the stanchion behind. But excellent free kick from Giroud. And Lunin very relieved to see that just go wide and high.
13 goals last year in Serie A for Olivier Giroud, who's now 36. Three minutes of stoppage time. A bit of miscommunication ends up with Vinny on the prowl. Inside two, Vinny Jr. Chouameni trying to get in on the action. Well, AC Milan, as Real Madrid will set up from their travels. AC Milan will stay right here in LA. They play Juventus here next, and then finish up in Las Vegas against Barcelona.
It's a heck of a preseason.
Yeah. Real Madrid have a spell in Texas and Houston and Dallas against Manchester United and Barcelona, and then finish up in Orlando as Giroud tried to help that on. Maybe the last chance to get back on level terms.
I think both sets of fans have to be really excited of the potential of both these sides going into their respected seasons, particularly what you're seeing in the attacking third of the field, that there's some very exciting goal-scoring components for both of these teams.
Well, this was Real Madrid's 50th game in their history in the United States. They first started coming here nearly a century ago, 1927. It's their first ever visit. They played Galicia Soccer Club in New York. They first played even here in LA back in 1961.
When you got to come over by boat, that's a commitment.
Yes.
That's impressive.
By 61, they were probably flying just. That was a game where they came here and beat LA United 9-0. Rita Hayworth at the ceremonial kickoff. This is Theo Hernandez. Last chance now for Rafael Lau. Good service. Oof, touched away with Romero crashing in to meet it.
Yeah, excellent touch from Fran Garcia. Just really well defended at the far post. And Theo Hernandez does a great job of just creating this in the midfield and then finding Leao. And anytime Leao has the ball at his feet, AC Milan believes something can happen, and it almost did.
Reinders is going to take this corner. This really is last chance saloon for AC Milan. It's a disappointing delivery. And with it sounds the final whistle. Well, the vast majority of the Rose Bowl will be going home very happy indeed. Carlo Ancelotti savours victory against his former club, exchanges kind words with Stefano Pioli.